I know that it can be very daunting and confusing as someone who is just starting out enjoying luxury items, particularly handbags. When you hear different terminology that is used in the industry, or you see different descriptive factors that designers may use to describe their pieces. So I've decided to put this video together as a reference for leathers that can currently be found at Coach Boutique, because Coach is the design house that I have most experience with at this point in my collecting. Then that is what we're going to be focusing on today. Now, as we go along and I tell you the different kinds of leathers and show you examples of them, keep in mind that the names Coach has given each leather are derived mostly from how they are processed and not the type of leather they are. So not top grain or full grain, neither from the origin animal it is sourced from. The names are derived mostly from the way they are processed. All of the information that I will be sharing in today's video is mostly things that I have sourced from the Coach website itself, and also what I have learned from my experience over the years in interacting with other Coach lovers as well as Coach sales associates. Hi guys, it's Temi with YellowSparksJoy. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. On this channel, I like to talk about lifestyle and fashion, particularly handbags. So if you like those kind of topics, please subscribe to my channel and don't forget to hit the tiny notification bell beside the subscribe button so you can get notified every single time I upload a new video. The very first type of leather that you can find at a Coach boutique these days is cross-grain leather. Now, if I had filmed this video about 2 years ago, I probably wouldn't have been able to say that, because cross-grain leather is not something that Coach Boutique have used, I don't think since the introduction of their 1941 line. That type of leather was mostly reserved for the outlets, so the factory made for factory items. But all of a sudden, we started seeing cross-grain leather at the boutiques. I know that 2 years ago, last year, we saw cross-grain leather, just a few items here and there pop up. But interestingly, this year, Coach has released a whole line of new hobo and crescent shaped bags that are made entirely from cross-grain leather. Now, cross-grain leather is a type of leather which has its origin in usually inexpensive, low-grade leathers, which are then sanded down and processed with a coating which gives it a hard-wearing protective finish. Now, this coating typically involves embossing the leather with a grained finish, which gives it that nice grained textured feel. So the texture and the graining on these type of leathers are not natural. It does not come naturally with that leather. And an example of this type of leather, or examples of this type of leather, is of course Coach cross-grain leather. But for other design houses as well, you have things like Saffiano leather that I think Prada uses, and then you have things like Epi leather, which I think, correct me if I'm wrong, is also a form of artificially grained leather that Louis Vuitton uses. Now, having this type of inexpensive, low-grade leather go through this process actually helps it to be very, very durable. Because of that protective finish, it is one of the strongest, long-lasting leathers that you can find in the market, which is why a lot of people actually like it. But then there's also many people that don't, because the origin leather is not very good quality. And I have two examples of this type of leather to share with you from Coach. First is my Coach B, which I absolutely love. So as you can see, I don't mind cross-grain leather. It's not my favorite, but it does have its advantages. Like I said, it is very long wearing and durable. It looks new year after year after year. This kind of bag will last you a very, very long time. It is not, however, luxurious to touch. It doesn't have any luxury feeling in my opinion, which is why I wouldn't personally spend a whole lot of money on a handbag that is made with cross-grain leather. Perhaps small leather goods like wallets and things like that, but for handbags, I definitely wouldn't spend a lot for a cross-grain leather handbag. So you can see the graining, and then usually with cross-grain leather, it tends to have a diagonal pattern on it. I don't really know why, but I know that with most Coach bags that are made from cross-grain leather, it does have that graining in a diagonal pattern. I haven't used this bag yet. As you can see, it's still brand new, but let me show you a bag that I have used that is cross-grain leather. This one is from the outlet. So Coach outlet does most of their leather bags in cross-grain leather, and this one I've had for a year now, over a year, and it still looks pristine. So that is definitely the advantage of cross-grain leather. It is durable, it looks new for a very, very, very long time. It is scratch resistant, and nobody will tell how old the bag is. Look at this. You have this used and you have this new, and they practically look pretty much now. Another type of leather that Coach uses, and one that is very similar to cross grain, is Pebble Leather. It's similar because they are both grained artificially. One of the differences between both is that for cross grain leather, like I said, the graining is more diagonal, whereas with Pebble Leather it's not. And then another difference that I've noticed is that with cross grain leather, because of the texture of the leather, it's harder to touch, but because of the texture of Pebble Leather, it's softer to touch. And we'll go into the texture of Pebble Leather later. Another difference is that the grains on cross grain leather is tinier, whereas the grains on Pebble Leather are smaller size pebble but a little bit larger than the grains on cross grain leather. Now, the origin leather that Coach uses for Pebble Leather differs from style to style, but I believe they mostly use top grain leather. So it starts with this really nice, soft, good quality leather, and then they emboss it with medium pebble-like grains to give it a nice finish that is less prone to scratching. The leather industry uses very confusing terms, and Coach is not left out. Like, Coach uses different terms to mean different things. They can use one term to mean two different things sometimes, and I find it quite frustrating. So with Pebble Leather, Coach actually has two different types of Pebble Leather. One, glove tan Pebble Leather, and the other that is not glove tan Pebble Leather, it's just Pebble Leather. So I'll show you guys examples. This is my Coach Rogue in the size 25 in the color Kelly Green. This is glove tan Pebble Leather, and you can tell if you're conversant with Coach leathers, but for this particular one, they actually stamp the type of leather at the bottom of the leather, which Coach does sometimes, which is great. And here you can see it is genuine glove tan Pebble Leather. So on this one, the leather is very, very soft to touch. It is soft, and bags like this, typically with the Rogue and the way the Rogue is set up, and the fact that it is glove tan leather, it will eventually begin to sag. Like, it will become softer as the years go by, which is one of the advantages, or it can also be a disadvantage depending on how you like your bag with glove tan leather. This one just feels so yummy, so nice to touch, and you can see the graining there. Let me show you the difference between the graining here and the graining on the cross grain. So this is cross grain and this is pebble. So you can see how the cross grain grains are tinier and then the pebble grains are bigger, and then you can see also the pattern of the graining there. So that's the difference between both. And then enter Pebble Leather. So this one is not glove tan Pebble Leather. Well, not according to Coach. It is just Pebble Leather. And I'll show you the SKU card here. So you can see where it says Pebble Leather Tyler Carriol 28. And then, of course, I've already shown you the stamping on the Rogue. So you can even tell by touch that there's a difference. This leather feels a little bit stiffer. It's still nice, don't get me wrong, it's still very nice, but it definitely feels a little bit more stiff than the leather on the Rogue. So sometimes you can't really tell unless you have the opportunity to go into the store and feel these bags. I've also noticed that the regular Pebble Leather is less prone to sagging. It doesn't soften up over time as much as glove tan Pebble Leather does, and I think that has to do with the tanning process when it comes to making glove tan leather. Now, glove tan leather on its own is a type of leather that goes through a specific tanning process. Tanning is a process of converting raw hide, so raw leathers from material from animals, into a permanent stable form. Basically, it is taking this raw material and processing it into a finished form that can then be used to make an article. So regular Pebble Leather is not processed in a glove tanned way, and glove tanning is the tanning process that was typically originally used to make baseball gloves. That process, that's why it's called a glove tanned. So they follow the same tanning process. This Pebble Leather that is not glove tanned goes through a different tanning process, while this one goes through the glove tanning process. So typically I would think that the origin leather of this one is of lower quality than the origin leather of glove tan Pebble Leather. I'm not sure. Coach doesn't really say what the origin leathers are or what the origin animals are either, but from the substance and the quality of both leathers, I want to say that glove tan Pebble Leather is most likely made from top grain leather, while regular Pebble Leather is maybe made from top grain leather or from a lower quality leather. And there are many different ways of tanning products. You have leathers that some people will call Italian leathers. probably because the tanning process is specific to some parts of Italy. You also have tanning processes that give you leathers like Napa Leather. That refers to a different kind of tanning process. Speaking of Napa Leather, this is actually another type of leather that Coach uses often. Napa Leather is leather that is derived out of a tanning process that was developed in the city of Napa, California, years and years and years ago. So the same way glove tanned leather is derived from a glove tanning process is the way leathers that are referred to as Napa Leather are derived from a Napa tanning process. Napa Leather is really loved in the handbag industry for its durability. The way it is tanned makes it very, very soft, but also keeps it very durable. So unlike other types of buttery soft leathers, Napa Leather is not prone to scratching. However, if it does get deep cuts, it's very difficult to repair. So people like it because it looks sophisticated, it looks elegant, but also it's very prone to wear from sunlight. So if you have a Napa Leather handbag, make sure you keep it away from sunlight. When Coach uses Napa Leather, they don't dwell so much on the name of this type of leather from its tanning process, unlike their other leathers, but they label it or describe it more for its sewing technique. So Coach typically uses Napa Leather for their quilted leather handbags, and they've done a number of quilted leather handbags over the years, an example of which is this Coach swinger. This is the swinger in the size 20, made with the sewing technique that gives it its quilt. Nowadays, quilted leather handbags have become puffier and puffier, and of course we now have the pillow bags from Coach. Now this is listed in some places as Napa Leather and in others as calf leather. So it's definitely possible that the origin leather is from calf. I should mention here that most Napa Leather products are made from full grain leather. So the best of the best full grain leather is taken, tanned with Napa Leather techniques, and then crafted into whatever products that the manufacturer desires. So you can see that this quilted leather handbag from Coach is in straight quilt, whereas they've done other types of quilted leather handbags such as the Coach quilted handbag in diagonal quilt. So you can see this one, if you turn it around, it is diamond shaped, but I would rather refer to it as diagonal quilt, whereas this one is straight quilt. Another type of quilted leather example that I want to show you, now remember this is for its sewing technique, that's why it's called quilted leather, is the crinkled quilted leather. So apart from the sewing technique, it's a crinkled finish. So crinkled quilted leather bag, straight quilted leather bag, and diagonal or diamond quilted leather bag. If you're enjoying this video so far, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and if you want more information on all of the bags I'm mentioning in today's video, I will leave links to all my previous videos on each bag in the description box below. So we've seen regular pebble leather, and then we've seen pebble leather that is glove tanned. Now we're going to talk about smooth leather that goes through the glove tanning process as well. Now, smooth glove tan leathers are processed by glove tanning, as the name says, and then finished with a smooth, uniform coverage, leaving the bag feeling soft and silky-like to the touch. The advantage of this bag is it looks really, really nice. It looks polished and sophisticated and high-end. A disadvantage to it, however, is that because it has a smooth finish, it is more prone to scratching and easy wear and tear. Origin leather used for bags made with smooth glove tan leather are usually full grain or top grain leather. Now an example of this smooth glove tan leather is my Coach Kip. This one is in the color natural. It's a very small, cute crossbody bag with a nice top handle. This one here at the bottom, it does say genuine glove tan leather, and it is smooth, as you can see, with a very nice luxe feeling. I like the texture of this bag, although I will say that this is not the softest smooth leather bag I own. In comparison, my Cashin 32 actually feels much softer than my Coach Kip, but they are both made with glove tan leather and have a smooth finish. However, the difference, according to Coach, and this is where the confusion in terminology comes, is that while this is genuine glove tan leather, this is original glove tan leather. If you are a seasoned Coach collector and you know the difference between genuine and original when it comes to Coach handbags, please leave a comment below. So here at the bottom of this bag, you can see it says original glove tan leather. My guess is that the origin leather of both bags and of both kinds of glove tan leather are different. Perhaps one is full grain, one is top grain, or one is top grain and one is lesser quality leather. I don't know. But if you do know, if you have any insights for us, please leave a comment. Let's discuss. Now, One smooth gloved and leather bag that I'm very sure of the origin leather is my cute vintage dinky. So you can see this one has a smooth finish. As a matter of fact, you can see all the marks and scars and wear that this bag has had. It's definitely lived a very nice life, and on the interior it has that rich suede that I don't even think I have seen in any modern bags recently. This suede is just so beautiful. And on the story patch, it says this is a Coach bag. It is made out of a completely natural glove tanned cowhide. So that's how I know that the origin leather is from cow, and it was tanned using the glove tanning process. It goes on to say the scars, scratches, veins, and wrinkles are natural markings characteristic of full grain leathers. So we know it is cowhide, we know it is full grain cowhide, which is the best part, and we know that it was processed using glove tanning, and then obviously it was finished off with a smooth finish. So I know that they used to have really nice yummy leathers that they used to use years ago, like even with other designer houses. One of the problems that people have with luxury designers these days is that the quality of their leathers today is definitely much lower than the quality in past decades. So this is an example of smooth glove tanned leather as opposed to smooth glove tanned leather in recent times. Glove tanned leather is not the only type of leather that Coach does with a smooth finish. Coach has a number of other leathers that they finish off with that same uniform silky like finishing, one of which is refined calf leather. And now, as the name suggests, its origin leather is from a young cow. However, it does say that it is refined, which is also processing, but we don't know in which way. So whereas we hear glove tan this and glove tan that, so we know that the processing is through glove tanning, I'm not particularly sure how refined calf leather is actually refined. But an example of that bag is one of my newest bags in my collection, and it is my Coach Sammy top handle. This was made from refined calf leather and is so beautiful. This is so, like, I've likened this leather to Hermes box leather in my previous videos, and that is because you can obviously tell from the finish that this is such a luxurious bag. It was made from full grain leather, so that also lends to the luxurious looking end product that we have here. Compare this with our original glove tanned leather that is my Cashin 32. This definitely has more of a sheen than this one does, and it just looks much softer. Just by looking at it, this looks much softer than this, and I can tell you for a fact that the Sammy is much softer to touch than the Cashin 32. However, Coach decides to further confuse us by stamping this bag as genuine full grain leather. Well, at least we know that the origin leather is full grain from calf and was refined to such a beautiful leather to make this wonderful end product. So here is an example of a leather with a smooth finish that is not glove tanned, aka refined calf leather. One thing about refined calf leather, apart from the fact that the quality and just when you touch it and feel it, it's just so supple, so nice, is the fact that this type of leather will age gracefully. Even though it is prone to scratching easily, the scratches will fade over time. If you care for these types of leathers properly, they will sink into the leather themselves, and you'll see that as the years go by, this leather will look even more and more luxurious, more and more sophisticated. In other words, these type of leathers age gracefully. You know for sure that tanning plays a huge factor in processing and finishing of leathers, because I do have another example of refined calf leather with a smooth finish that is definitely not as pretty as my Sammy, and that is my Coach Parker top handle. This is the Parker in size 32 with the top handle and snakeskin detail. This one actually has more than one fabric, more than one leather, and we'll talk about that later. But right now, I just want us to focus on the smooth leather here. You can see that there is a difference between this refined calf leather and this refined calf leather. Mostly that difference you could tell by touch. This one is definitely more satiny, more supple. Supple is the word I will use. It's more supple to touch than this bag. The sheen on this one is also more than the sheen on this one. So they are both refined calf leathers according to Coach, and they both have a smooth finish. So I'm thinking again that the difference between both is probably the origin leather. So whereas this we know is full grain leather, this we know is not. I don't know what type of origin leather it has, but it is definitely not full grain leather. Coach does make leathers with a smooth finish that are not glove tanned and are not refined calf leather either. These type of leathers are usually not shiny and do not have a soft buttery like finish. They are mostly slightly matte to the touch, and their origin leathers are typically lower quality. And just in case you didn't know, you have full grain leather, which is the outermost layer of the skin. It is full, it is not sanded, it is not, apart from removing the hair, they don't remove anything else, so it is the best and richest part of the leather. Underneath full grain leather, you have top grain leather. This is what is left after they sand off the impurities, the scars. What you have left is top grain leather. It is not as high quality as full grain leather, but it is still a better part of the leather than everything else. Everything below these two are just referred to as lower grade leathers. And then at the bottom you have suede. It's at the bottom because it's the interior of the leather. It doesn't make it bad quality. It's actually nice. That's why you find most designers use it for the interior of the bags, because it's also a nice part of the leather. But we'll talk about suede very soon. Right now, let's talk about when Coach makes their bags with multiple different fabrics. Then you have descriptions on their websites and on the product, such as mixed fabric or tri fabric or mixed leathers. So multi-fabric bags usually have 2 or more leathers combined together to give it an aesthetic and stylish look. So you have combinations of smooth leather, pebble leather, grained leather, exotic leathers, and suede. For example, my Coach Parker top handle size 32. This one is a multi-fabric bag, and it is a combination of refined calf smooth leather, grain leather. So Coach has not told us exactly what type of graining this is, but from the look of it, this is cross grain leather. But the descriptor on their website for this bag is simply grain leather. And I say that, but this bag is continuing, so you can't find it on their website except you do a Google search. So smooth leather, grain leather, and then you have snake skin. So those are the 3 materials, the 3 leathers that were used in making this bag. Another example I want to show you is my beat shoulder bag in the regular size. Now here you have smooth glove tanned leather. So see how the materials are different. On my Parker, it is smooth refined calf. On the beats, it is smooth glove tanned. And then you have pebble leather on this one. So whereas on the Parker, it is grain leather or cross grain leather, on this one it is pebble leather. And then on the side you have suede. So where on the Parker you had exotic snake, on the beat you have suede on the sides and on the bottom. So those are just examples of how Coach mixes fabrics, mixes leathers to produce aesthetically pleasing and stylish designs. If you're enjoying this video so far, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button, as it helps me so much to grow on YouTube. Now another type of leathers that Coach uses are exotic. So for example, on my Parker you can see this is snake skin. So for example, ostrich, croc, python, and the like. So there are a few handbags out there that Coach does with all exotic leather, but most of the time they use these exotic leathers as an accent feature on their bags. And last but not the least is suede. So just as an example, this is the outer layer, this is the leather, and then this is the inside. This is suede. It is mostly used as an interior lining, but it is very beautiful when it is treated, processed, and used for exteriors as well. Because of how delicate suede is and how not as durable when compared to leather, it does require care when used and stored. I have a suede bag here. This is actually my only suede bag in my collection, and this is my Rogue in the size 25, made to order. So I made this, I had this custom made by Coach for me. It is in the color 1941 red. So the suede is in 1941 red, and then I have 1941 saddle leather accent. So this suede, you can see, I hope the lighting is not washing it out. Yeah, that's the color. Very beautiful orangey type of red. In person, you can see the hairs on the suede, and sometimes you just need to brush these types of bags down. That's really the only care that is required most times. Some people prefer to spray suede down when they first receive their suede bags to help it last longer, to protect it from stains, to protect it from water. I personally do not spray any of my bags because I do have quite a number of bags and I rotate them often, so not one bag gets so much use. This one I haven't even used so much. I've had it for about 2 going on to 3 years now, and I've probably used it a couple of times, like maybe like 20 or 30 times or 30 days in total. I love the touch of the suede. It's just different from the feel of leather. I haven't, like I said, I haven't sprayed it down. I haven't brushed it either. I know Coach offers care in their boutiques, so if you ever had a bag that you don't know how to care for, you can always go into the boutique, book an appointment if you need to, and ask the sales associates to clean or just to help you maintain this bag, perhaps once a year or once every 6 months. There's one more kind of Coach leather that I cannot believe I forgot to mention in this video. Thankfully, I have another video talking all about Coachtopia leather. If you want to know what that is, then click on this video here and let's explore the new world of Coachtopia. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and I will see you in this one. Bye.